Hello and welcome to my today's video. I know that you are a little bit pissed off already because I'm planning to make a clickbait name or a clickbait thumbnail for this video, and it's probably going to say something like who's next BTS or something like this. I will explain. Let me explain, okay? Don't turn off. Just 30 seconds, okay? So, where the idea of this video comes from. I recently got into ATEEZ. That was a mistake, obviously. Now I can't sleep, eat, or do anything. I'm kidding. And I and my friend were watching the performance of ATEEZ, and she was like, "Do you see what I see?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." Like, they have something. There is something in them that I only know from BTS. We are both ARMY with my friend. That I only know from BTS, and I don't know from any other group. Like, I haven't. And it's something very subtly, like you can't even name it, like what it is. My friend called it quality. She said, it's like, like high quality. I called it presence at that moment. But the more I went on with my days, the more, and I am an overthinker. So I was thinking more and more about it, like what do BTS and ATEEZ have in common? And it's like this video about who is the next BTS, and this conversation about who is the next BTS, it doesn't, like, to me it doesn't really make sense because everybody is different. But my question is rather like, what makes BTS BTS? What made them so successful? And what other groups have something similar? And what is it? Like, what is this thing, this particular quality that makes a group stand out? And I think I figured it out, and in this video I'm going to tell you about it, okay? Aren't you mad at me already? Okay, well, now I'm getting into the explanation. When I was watching ATEEZ for the first time, I didn't know anything about them as a group, how they were formed, what was the leader, what is going on with them, and so on and so on. So the more I got to know about them, about their formation, about their, like, what they are in their nature, the more I realized that I have seen this film before. Like the guy, the leader who has some idea around which the group is being formed, it's something that I have already seen. So this was the most obvious similarity between ATEEZ and BTS for me at that time. And I started to think more about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it's as if the leader of this kind is not just a leader for a team, but also the carrier of the vision of the whole team. So it's as if, there is a particular thing that I have noticed, that BTS are very, like dedicated, even devoted, like committed to Namjoon. Like Jungkook is almost religiously committed to Namjoon. And from what I see, ATEEZ, at least some of the members, are like really devoted to Honjun. And I think that this devotion, like dedication, I don't know, devotion maybe is a strong word, but I want to use it all the time. I love the word devotion. But this dedication, it comes from the fact that this person, like Namjoon or Honjun, they feel like someone who deserves it. That the members feel that they can put their energy into Honjun and trust Honjun with their energy, or Namjoon with their energy. And I was thinking more and more, like, what is it that they have? And I feel like what they both have is vision. Like this unbreakable vision of what has to be put out, like what has to be brought into this world, what has to be created in this world, what has to be expressed, what is to be performed. And maybe, like, I actually got into K-pop like 3 years ago, so I wasn't with BTS while they were, since 2013, and I know that they have been through a lot of challenges, like any young group, and their concept, the way they perceived themselves probably, and the way they presented themselves, it changed around the time when they became successful, like around 2016 and around the album Wings. And I feel like that's when they found, and Namjoon found, what he's actually about. He is about self-reflection and understanding himself. And this, as it seems to me, the main topic of BTS as it was further, like from 2016 until 2022. It was a story about, like, how do I love myself? And a story about how do I love myself is very, very rich. There is a lot about it. Like, how do I, what am I? Like, what am I so that I can love myself? And then, like, how do I love myself when I am in a crisis? How do I love myself when I'm being rejected? What do I even love? What do I consist of? What motivates me? What motivates my actions when I don't understand why I act like this? What is it that makes me act this way? And all these, like, questions, they are being worked on by BTS, as it seems to me. And there is also, like, there are other people in BTS except for Namjoon who are interested in such things, especially Yoongi, for example. But generally, the vibe of BTS is the vibe of Namjoon. It's as if Namjoon carries this vision, and the energies of the members just add something to it. And it's as if he is a lens that collects the energies of other members and points them into one direction. One Direction. My brain for a second was like, One Direction? What? I'm sorry. So it points them, like, as if his vision points all the energies into the same direction. And this way, they achieve more, they reach further. Because it's the multiplied energy, the synergy between different energies which come together in this trust into the leader. And I feel like it's very similar to what is happening in ATEEZ, because Honjun also seems like a person who has this vision. And the more I got into ATEEZ, the more I realized that this whole vibe of ATEEZ, like the rebellion, but also the sexiness and aliveness and confidence and this breakthrough energy, that's actually Honjun. That's what he is. So it's more or less the same situation. The groups that become successful and the groups that have this quality about which I said at the very beginning are the ones that have the vision which comes from the inside of the group, meaning from the person inside the group, from the leader. There are groups which have really, really nice concepts. Like, these concepts are really easy to understand. They are very easy to comprehend. They are very coherent, but they don't hit as much as, for example, ATEEZ or BTS, for me personally. Because the carrier of this vision in those groups is external to the group. So it is like the company that created this vision, rather concept, not a vision. Or it's a company usually. But the groups like BTS or ATEEZ, even when their concept is not as coherent, for example, even despite the fact that ATEEZ are a pirate, mafia, stripper, cyberpunk, I will keep repeating it in every video about ATEEZ gang, they are still very easy to comprehend. They are still very easy and, coherent to perceive, because despite the fact that they have different concepts and different aesthetics and different visuals in their different music videos, in their different comebacks, they still have this underlying vibe which is coherent from song to song, from music video to music video, because the carrier of this vibe is a person who participates in the production of all of it, of everything that is being made by ATEEZ, and that's Honjun. And that's actually, that's so attractive. I mean, it doesn't get more attractive than that. Like a leader, a person who is responsible for the creativity of the whole team, who carries this vision through years, through difficulties and through success, and who has enough personal power to hold the team together. I don't think if it can be more attractive than that. Tell me in the comments what can be more attractive than that. And I was thinking about it more and more, and I thought that I'm missing something or someone. And I realized that there is another team that I know that is like that has this same structure, and that's obviously Stray Kids. And I was thinking about why didn't I think about them from the very beginning. And I feel like, for a very long time, until lately, until the latest comeback of Stray Kids, I didn't quite, I liked them, but I didn't quite have this sense of their vision. So while with BTS, it's obvious for me. It's the self-reflection and, going into the inside and finding who you are, and Map of the Soul is actually like a product of all this reflection, because it's literally Map of the Soul. It's like who you are inside. And while ATEEZ are these rebels who are pointed into changing something in the world, like Gorilla and like Halazia, like all of these things all of these songs that I like so much, they are pointed into changing the things that they don't like about this reality, this society as it is right now. I couldn't understand for a very long time what Stray Kids are about until this latest comeback. And I'm not sure if it's because they were not so clear, or maybe I wasn't so sensitive, or maybe it just didn't resonate for some reason. But for me, right now, I feel like Stray Kids, they are about honestly going through everything that life brings you. Because for a very long time, it wasn't obvious for me. It's not really reflective, and it's not really about, changing something outside. So what was it about? And when I was listening to this latest album, I realized that it was about, whatever comes my way, I will overcome it. Being present and being honest in this particular moment. And it really, for me, it as if it clicked, as if everything was put into its place, as if the puzzle was put together. But BTS is more about, internal and maybe past in a way. Not past as if BTS are in the past, but past as if, how I became who I am, what made me who I am. And while ATEEZ are more pointed into the future and into a change, something external, something to break, something to change, something to enhance, something to make a change, to make a difference. Stray Kids, it feels like, is very about being who I am in this reality as it is, and whatever it brings to me, to face it and to go through it. I remember I had this song on repeat of Stray Kids. It was the song called Falling Up, and there is in the English version, there is a verse of Chanbin where he says, "Fate intervenes and changes everything. I never change, I just follow me. When I need direction, I take a look inside in my integrity." So, yeah, it felt like everything was put in its places. Everything was put together. And of course, it's very obvious that all these people, all these three leaders, Namjoon, Banchan, and Honjun, they are very different people. They have very different topics in their lives which are important for them. They have very different visions. They have very different vibes, and it's another kind of pleasure to look into them, to look into how they operate, to look into their strategies, to look into their habits and features and all of these things. And all of these characters are very rich and very exciting to me. But still, what they all have in common is this ability to hold this vision for the whole team and this personal power to put the energies of different people together to create something completely new, something that has never been created. And I think that that's the thing that makes the teams successful, actually successful, not monetarily successful, even though they are all pretty monetarily successful, but it's what gives this aliveness. It's what gives this freshness, this attractiveness to the teams, to their groups. It's this vision, it's this connection between the internal vibe of the person and the external creation of the team, and also somewhat a connection between this, what they create, and the reality that they are in, like how it influences the reality that they are in. Because art exists for that. Art exists to express the things which are to be expressed, which are to be brought into this world in this particular moment, and to be heard and perceived by the people, and to awaken something inside of them. Even though we are very used to the fact that sometimes art becomes, just a product, and music becomes just a product that is being sold, that is being perceived, that it is being consumed, it's not what art is about. Art is about vision. Art is about bringing the ideas from the space of ideas into this physical world, and that's what the groups with the vision inside of them do, and that's why they feel so attractive. That's my feeling, actually. That's just, that's my theory. Maybe that's just my fantasy. But I feel like, Big Hit recently debuted a new group, Curtis? Whatever, you got what I'm talking about. And I feel like they were aiming to do something that I am explaining right now. They wanted to have a leader with a vision inside of the team. And I think Martin is his name Martin? I hope his name is Martin. Is this kind of a person, is the producer and the person with the vision. And we will see how they will be developing. But I feel like it's, this thing that I've been yapping about in this video for 15 minutes, more than 15 minutes, is actually something that Big Hit understood too. So maybe I'm not that wrong. Oh, I've been thinking about making this video for so long. And something was stopping me, and I'm so happy that it was stopping me, because I would say something very different if I did it before the release of Karma album that Stray Kids released 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. So I'm very happy that I made it today, right now. Thank you so much for watching. I know that I pissed you off at the beginning, or maybe I didn't, but I hope it was worth it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.